Radio starts right now.
Hi there. Good morning. It's Wednesday, June 15th.
Thanks for joining us. We'll get to weather in just a minute, but we're going to go ahead and check in with Steven because there's been a major accident.
That's right. And we had a few crashes that were reported earlier this morning. Thankfully, those have cleared out and traffic looks to be moving without any trouble. Let's get a wide look at TransGuide 35 southbound at Main, I-10 at Vance Jackson. Thankfully, not a whole lot to talk about when we take a look at these TransGuide cameras, but we can show you on the map. Still a lot of stalls remain there, so just make sure that you check your vehicles before getting out on the roadway. But as Steph was mentioning, we do have a deadly crash that was reported earlier this morning over off South Zarzamora. Now, San Antonio police say there was nothing they could do to save a driver who was involved on a crash. That man's car slammed into a tree on South Zarzamora near Hunter's Pond earlier this morning, and he died from his injuries. Katrina Weber was at the scene and tells us why investigators believe drowsy driving may be to blame.
Police say as far as they can tell, it looks like this is the only car that was involved in the crash. They believe the driver simply fell asleep at the wheel. Police say a co-worker of this man called 911 after noticing the wreck shortly after 6:30 this morning. He told officers both of them had just completed a 12-hour shift at the Toyota plant nearby. Investigators say it looks like the driver fell asleep, left the road, and hit a tree on South Zarzamora near Hunter's Pond. They had to shut down the northbound side of the road to investigate the crash, and they expected it might be closed for hours. Police say that they have not notified the family of this man and they have not made a positive identification, but they do believe that he is in his late 30s or early 40s. Reporting from the South Side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
And here's today's 9 at 9.
Before the day is done, we could see the biggest single interest rate hike since the early 90s. The Federal Reserve is wrapping up its latest two-day meeting this afternoon. Economists think it may raise a key interest rate by 3/4 of a point. The Fed is looking for ways to slow down inflation.
The prospect of rising interest rates are pushing stocks lower again. The S&P and Dow ditching early morning gains to close down on Tuesday. The S&P dropped nearly 0.4%, the Dow off 0.5%, and the Nasdaq finished up nearly 0.2%.
Concerns being raised about President Biden's Saudi Arabia trip planned for next month. Critics are wondering if trying to lower gas prices will soften the U.S. positions on human rights. The Biden administration says oil isn't the main reason for the visit. The bilateral talks are just part of a trip that includes a regional summit.
The House Committee investigating the January 6th Capitol insurrection has postponed today's hearing. Lawmakers cite technical issues involving its multimedia presentation. This comes as members appear at odds over whether findings could lead to possible criminal referrals to the Justice Department. The next televised hearing is scheduled for tomorrow.
Catastrophic flooding at Yellowstone National Park has forced more than 10,000 visitors to evacuate. Now the region, famous for its unparalleled beauty, is trying to begin a massive cleanup. Officials say the park could remain closed for a week and northern entrances may not reopen at all this summer.
A new report shows Volkswagen could sell more electric vehicles than Tesla by 2024. Tesla's limited number of models leaves it vulnerable to Volkswagen's wide range of lineup and pricing. Europe and China will be especially important to deciding EV leadership in the coming years. Regulations in both markets heavily favor electric vehicles.
Meta announced 2 new safety features targeting teens on Instagram. The first will try to steer teens away from looking at the same type of content repeatedly and encourage them to explore new topics. The second will be a take a break feature, which will send them a reminder if they've been scrolling for too long. Both features are currently being tested in 6 countries, including the U.S. Meta plans to launch them on Instagram later this summer.
UPS looking small for new ways to get packages to your door. The delivery company is unveiling new battery-powered 4-wheel cycles to whisk deliveries around congested cities. The test of the pedal-powered carts is starting in New York City and several cities in Europe.
It's the end of the road for the web browser so many have loved to hate. Today, Microsoft is officially ending support for Internet Explorer. It was replaced by new browser Edge 7 years ago. And that's today's 9 at 9.
Outside with live cam, lots of clouds early. As a matter of fact, it almost looks like it wants to rain in some of those faraway shots near San Antonio International Airport, Justin.
Almost. And we had a couple of sprinkles earlier this morning. Not much. Everything we're seeing today on radar has been very light, but it is nice to see that added cloud cover, at least a little bit out there. And we can dust off the radar a little bit and use it today. 82 degrees right now, mostly cloudy skies at the airport. Southerly winds at about 15. That dew point at 72, so it's awful sticky out there. That'll keep heat indices in play for most of the day. Just a 10% chance, again, of a sprinkle really in the forecast. But the added cloud cover keeps temperatures below the 100-degree mark today. We're going with a high of 98 with southerly winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Let's look at the radar and satellite. You see all the cloud covers. So these widespread clouds really helping us out temperature-wise, and then a few light returns south of San Antonio. Those kind of falling apart at this point, but we could see one or two more showers developing a little bit later this afternoon. So here's what's ahead. More clouds, a sprinkle today, and then we're going to be talking about the Saharan dust really tomorrow. Some higher concentrations working its way into South Texas. And this weekend, we're back to the 100s, back to status quo with lots of sun. More on that and that Saharan dust coming up in just a few minutes.
In your morning headlines, a police department investing in a de-escalation technique that sort of works like a lasso.
And a California decimal point disaster ended with less than $1 for a gallon of gas. Max Massey joins us live in the studio with these headlines. And Max, where are we starting?
Guys, we have so much to talk about this morning. I'm actually really excited about the Ohio lasso weapon. Crazy stuff. But we are starting in New York, where an end of the school celebration ended with more than a dozen kids injured in a bouncy house. So take a look. You can kind of see behind me that bouncy house just tipping over, a clearly frightening scene for elementary school children and their parents. They were celebrating the last day of school just outside New York City, and now authorities are investigating what actually led to this accident. Now, this packed bounce house suddenly collapsed. At least one kid treated for a broken leg, and authorities on the scene saying 6 and 7-year-olds were just playing on it, had a large slide, rock climbing wall, pretty much everything you can ask for. It suddenly tipped over. The manager of Jump Around Party Rentals telling ABC that the school chose not to hire an attendant to monitor the kids. So that investigation still ongoing. And this is really the story of the morning. It sounds like a gun firing. It deploys something. Look at this. Kind of looks like a taser too, but boom. It shoots out like a lasso, and it's become the latest restraint tool in the toolbox for one Ohio police department. So the department investing about $16,000 in what they're calling a bowler wrap device. Now, North Canton in Ohio currently has 8 of them. They wrap around someone's legs or arms, and the North Canton's director of administration, he volunteered to be wrapped, which he admitted it was pretty scary.
It's scary. It really is. It happens in such an instant that you don't realize, other than the loud bang, the next thing you know, you can't move.
The cord then wraps around the individual, and those hooks dig into the clothing, and it gives us a temporary amount of time to be able to move in safely.
So Sergeant Cody Bollinger, well, he tells us that it uses a cord, metal anchors, and barbed hooks. Now, city leaders felt it was important to look for de-escalation options other than tasers and guns. All right, so there's a California gas station manager. Take a look at this. So it's supposed to say $6.99, right? I view this man as a hero because he accidentally set the gas station's pump at not $6.99, but 69 cents a gallon. Yes, that's in California. And now this man is speaking out after he got fired. That's a terrible situation. So John Chesina, he accidentally put a decimal in the wrong spot, began selling the $6.99 gas for just 69 cents. Here's the thing, it would have been fine, but the gas station lost about $16,000. Now, Chesina accidentally put the decimal in the wrong spot. And, well, as you can imagine, guys, if you see 69 cents for a gallon, people are going to flock to that gas station. So Chesina was fired on Monday after this decimal point debacle, and now his family has actually started a GoFundMe page for him, a goal raising $16,000. That way you can replace the revenue that the gas station lost, pay them back. They're worried besides being fired, which he was, he could also be sued.
The only way he would be responsible, absent a written agreement, is if he was acting outside the scope of his employment. For instance, if his boss said, whatever you do, don't ever set the price on that gas pump. And then he did.
So John speaking out, saying, I put all 3 prices on there except for the diesel. The last one kind of didn't go, so I just took responsibility for it, and he admitted it was his fault. Obviously, you know, you see 69 cents for a gallon, you see it on Twitter, you tell your friends about it. Look, guys, if I ever saw gas for less than $1 in San Antonio, I would call you immediately. Hey, it's here. And imagine this in California, where, look, if you see $6.99 gallon of gas, California, obviously the most expensive gas in the country right now.
Yeah, it's already running like $8 or $10 a gallon in some spots, right?
Oh, my goodness. My Jeep is painful at this point.
Hey, imagine if they put the decimal in the wrong place on the GoFundMe and they wound up raising $1.6 million.
Look at that.
That'd be a great day for him.
I was going to say, good luck to John. All right, so I don't know about you guys, but I've always wanted to go skydiving, eventually. But a 95-year-old and a 78-year-old in Hawaii, they're both with me. So 95-year-old Kay in no way, well, she took the plunge in Hawaii on Monday. She went skydiving with her friend, 78-year-old Masako Soroi, both women residents at a Hawaii retirement community. They took off from Dillingham Airfield on Oahu's North Shore. For Soro, it was a first, but here's the thing. Oh, we lost it. For the 98-year-old, they had gone 4 times. And, well, just proven it's never too late to try.
I didn't expect it, that the view was so gorgeous, unbelievable. The weather was so great. And this is my first, the jump. And my goodness, I think if everybody thinking about it, go for it.
She says anyone who's considering skydiving, absolutely go for it. So, guys, have you ever gone skydiving? Would you ever want to?
Steph said she'd do it if you'd do it.
Okay. I smell a 9 a.m. live shot coming in the works.
No. When I was younger, I was all about it. I was, looking for places to do this. And I don't know, as I get older, I get more chicken. So it's not on my list.
That's not called chicken. It's called wisdom.
Wisdom.
It's always a little more expensive than you think, too.
Yeah. That too.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
Maybe one day.
I'll go with you, Mark.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks,
put a
Max.
GoPro on.
It's going to be the most awkward tandem jump you've ever seen. Thank you, Max Massey. Right now, 9:10, about 81 degrees. Still ahead on GMSA at 9.
A world-famous artist honoring the victims of the Uvalde school shooting, what he hopes the community can take away from them. Plus,
coming up, a local program is giving San Antonians an opportunity to create plays and have them come to life.
9:13, welcome back. I love making anybody on our team laugh right at the last second before we come back.
yeah, that happens a lot on this show.
It's a hobby.
Yeah.
So 81 degrees, Justin's here, and he's holding it together for a Saharan dust forecast.
Not a laughing matter, but Mark is really good at that, by the way.
Yes.
It is a talent.
You're welcome.
Saharan dust is going to be around not only today, but as we head into tomorrow especially, we're going to see the concentrations get a little thicker. So expect that haze in the atmosphere and, some beautiful sunrises and sunsets. Let's look at the graph there. There you go. Friday, we'll still see some moderate amounts of Saharan dust around. The good news here is it all goes away by the weekend. It should clear out some, and we'll see bluer skies. Looking at the live radar, we've been tracking showers all morning long. They've pretty much fallen apart now. We had some shower activity down there in parts of McMullen County and LaSalle County. As it moved north, though, just fell apart. We still can see a few sprinkles out there today, nothing that's going to be significant at all. I think the bigger story probably is the cloud cover that we are seeing associated with a little swirl out to our west. That's the reason we've seen some of these showers, but it's also ushering in quite a bit of cloud cover. And with clouds around today, that will help with temperatures. We should stay below 100 degrees this afternoon. Water vapor, you can see the swirl right there. Remember yesterday it was in Mexico, now it's worked north into Texas, and it's throwing some of those clouds in our direction. The chance for rain is really 10%. It's low end, but the models do show a few showers here and there throughout the day, so we can't rule it out. It's just not going to amount to anything probably measurable. And by this evening, still maybe a couple light sprinkles out there. 82 degrees right now, 76 Kerrville, 80 in Hondo. Most of Bexar County sitting in the low 80s now. A lot of humidity, some gusty winds out there too. So here's the forecast. I think by 5 o'clock, we're probably up near 98, but the heat index could go as high as 102. So yeah, we're below 100 with the air temperature, but the humidity makes it feel like 102 at the airport, 104 at Stinson, 103 in New Braunfels by this afternoon. We're also going to get those gusty winds. Right now, gusty anywhere from 20 to 25. That will play out most of the day. So we'll see those gusts in that range, maybe even close to 30 overnight. As we look at the big picture here, high pressure still very much centered over the eastern half of the country. And this is creating some really hot temperatures in places that don't typically see big time heat, like Cleveland, Chicago, St. Louis, even Milwaukee yesterday had a heat index of 107. It was actually hotter up there than it was here. This high pressure dances around a little bit, but for the most part, still very much in control of our forecasting, keeps things very toasty and for the most part pretty quiet. As far as the tropics are concerned, we have been watching this little area of disturbed weather here off the coast of Central America, but the Hurricane Center is actually backing off of their idea that, well, at least a little bit of development. So they brought it down to a 30% chance of development over the next 5 days. Just because it's interacting with land, it's got to stay out over open water to really have a good chance. And it doesn't look like that may happen. Down the line, there still could be some development. You look at the spaghetti plots here, and by the way, these aren't terribly accurate if we don't even have a center of circulation or really good area of thunderstorms, but gives us a general idea. By Saturday, maybe moving closer to Cancun or the Yucatan, and then working towards Mexico. Any of that moisture will probably stay well to our south just because of where the ridge of high pressure is situated. So just a heads up there, we're not really going to benefit from that at all. 98 degrees today, 101 tomorrow. We'll get more sun, but we'll get Saharan dust as well. 100 Friday, and then triple digits both Saturday and Sunday. Of course, Father's Day and Juneteenth on Sunday. A lot of activities. It will be hot. And we'll see heat indices probably still a little bit above that mark. Triple digits going into next week as well, guys.
But 99 on Tuesday for now.
Positive.
Yeah,
yes.
We'll take it. Thanks, Justin.
A local project is giving San Antonio playwrights and artists an opportunity to practice their craft and develop new plays. Teatro Salon is a project of the Guadalupe Cultural Arts Center that provides these opportunities. And Tiffany Huertas joins us live at the historic Guadalupe Theater on the west side with more. Good morning, Tiffany. Good morning. So how many plays have been developed through this project?
Good morning, Mark and Stephanie. This would be the third major production thanks to this program. Someone that has been directly impacted is Cesar, who is the mastermind behind all of this. Talk to us about how this program has impacted your life.
Well, the Teatro Salon program here at the Guadalupe Cultural Arts Center has impacted my life by producing my first children's play that I've ever written and providing staged readings, beginning to end production of my own personal play, and it has really changed my life.
Talk to us about this play.
This play is called La Niña Girasol, and it is based on family, my niece and nephew, who are protectors of their maternal line. They are the people who are remembering their ancestors and their grandmothers in a world where everybody seems to be forgetting their heritage. So they are fighting to save that.
How do you think that this type of program is going to impact other people in our community?
Well, the way I see it is it will probably provide a voice to people that didn't have one before. If there are people that have plays or stories in their heart, this is the place that will help you develop it and produce it.
And I was watching this play earlier, the rehearsal. It is so emotional. You've used a lot of motherhood and just life in general experiences. Talk to us about that.
Well, as the Mexican tradition is, we venerate our ancestors. I personally am a grandma's boy. And in our family, we love our parents, our mothers, but we sometimes forget how important they are to holding the family together. This play is a reminder of that.
I'm so excited. For people that want to watch this, when can they come?
The play will start next week on Wednesday, on June 22nd and 23rd at 11 a.m. Those are matinees. That's for the early birds. Then Friday and Saturday, which is the 24th and 25th, we will be producing them at 7 p.m. here. Both shows at Guadalupe Cultural Arts Center.
And this is a collaboration. You mentioned there's a lot of people working behind the scenes, right?
Oh, yes. Our director, Clint Taylor, has been very important in getting this play produced. He's submitted it, he's developed it, and he has worked with the children to bring it to life.
Well, I'm very excited for more San Antonians to be part of this project, and I bet you are too.
Oh, I definitely am. I hope to see it grow.
Thank you so much for your time this morning. We'll have all the details on KSAT.com. Back to you.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Time check 9:20, 82 degrees out at the airport.
And coming up after the break, what a potential ban on abortion could mean for our foster care system.
A U.S. Supreme Court ruling on the future of abortion in the U.S. could be coming as soon as this week.
Many have questions after a leaked draft opinion suggested Roe versus Wade could be overturned.
There have been concerns about what a potential ban on abortion could mean for women's health care and agencies like the foster care system.
As Patty Santos learned, those behind the foster care system say it's already struggling, especially when it comes to community-based care.
There has been a reduction of number of kids coming into care, which has made a big difference.
The pieces are slowly coming together for Texas foster kids. Tara Rousset with SJRC Texas is trying to stay positive, but
we still need placements for high acuity youth that have stepped down from maybe short-term psychiatrics.
The agency has partnered with other placing agencies to recruit and retain foster families. FosterTX.org is a one-stop shop for families considering fostering.
If someone's not a good fit for one agency, they may be a good fit for another one, and that's what this website will help.
And it's needed. The state data shows reports to the child abuse hotline calls to Child Protective Services took a slight dip during the pandemic, but are picking back up.
There's just not enough people that help or volunteer or even know how serious the problem is for these children.
Lee Towles' church helps support fostering, adopting families with basic needs, childcare, even just encouragement.
Everyone's first reaction to fostering is, I can't do that. I can't afford it. I'm too old. But my husband and I were in our 50s when we started fostering.
And Rousset says it's this kind of church support that she hopes will help foster kids and families thrive.
The message that I want everybody to hear is the problem is not solved.
Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
The state of Texas had legal responsibility for nearly 46,000 children last year. Some of those children could eventually be adopted.
Tonight on the Night Beat, Patty Santos is going to take a closer look at how adoptions could be affected if Roe versus Wade is overturned.
9:26, 82 degrees. There's much more ahead on GMSA at 9.
Including celebrations beginning this weekend for Juneteenth. We're going to tell you what the city has planned.
And how an artist is paying tribute to the lives lost in the Uvalde school shooting.
And as we head to break, a quick look at the roads there with TransGuide. Looking there at the holdup at I-35 near I-37. This is northbound 35. Steven's going to have an update after the break.
Okay, so we're about a half an hour past 9. Let's get a look here at 35. We had talked about this before we went to commercial. You can see there is a pretty big holdup there. Traffic almost at a standstill. Hopefully this big rig there is careful, and the driver behind them is as well, because it looks like vehicles are getting off into just one lane there. That is because a crash has been reported in that area in the northbound lanes. But we're first going to start with that wide look at the map, because thankfully nothing major to talk about just yet elsewhere. But we bring you into 35. There in those northbound lanes, we are seeing a stretch of traffic building near 37. So keep that in mind if you're still at home and maybe you have to head out in the next few moments. We are looking at alternative routes. One of those areas you could take is South Alamo until you hit Commerce. Get onto New Braunfels and you'll avoid all that red. But keep in mind, you're going to hit some stoplights along the way. But it beats sitting in that traffic that we're seeing right there. It's just really looking good. Traffic looks like it's down to just one lane. But hopefully we'll have a better update before the show wraps up. Guys?
Thank you, Stephen. Well, world-famous artist who is known for his massive sculptures made out of Legos digitally drew each of the victims of the Robb Elementary School shooting by hand in just 1 week's time.
Sean Kinney, the artist who once lived in Austin and now lives in Amsterdam, started drawing these portraits the day after the deadly shooting.
That's right. Sarah Costa spoke with that artist, and she joined us now with what he hopes to the public, especially in the community of Uvalde, they can take away from these digital works of art. Sarah.
Good morning, Mark and Steph. So Sean Kinney, he's a worldwide famous artist. You know, he's known for these larger than life sculptures, usually using Legos as his medium, and canvas prints of all of these portraits have been delivered to all of the families in Uvalde, which was all by chance after the portraits went viral and the families began to contact him asking how to buy them. So he gladly donated each of the canvas prints to the families. Each portrait took 2 to 3 hours to digitally create. He says he was making 2 to 3 a day and finished in a week. After he learned about the shooting, he was so hopeless and upset. He says the next day he sat down and started to create them as an emotional release. He now hopes his expression can help others.
I hope that by looking at these portraits, people can really see these kids for who they were and the exciting and lovable people that they were. It's easy when we get caught up in the national conversation about all this to sort of, turn these things into numbers and statistics. And these were real lives. And I hope that by looking at these really big, bold portraits of these children, you can really see them for the vibrant kids that they were.
So remembering the victims and who they were is most important to Kenny. Kenny says right now the portraits are just digital Lego renderings and that he hasn't decided if he and his team will build these with Legos. If they decided to do so, it would take a quarter million Lego bricks and about 6 months to build all 20 of them. And he wants to remain respectful to the families in the community of Uvalde and isn't sure if he will end up building them out with Legos, but right now he just wants to give them time and space for healing.
Understandable.
It was so interesting, his conversation, because he was just like, I just did this. I didn't realize these families were going to reach out to me. And when that went viral, he was like, getting phone calls from these families. Is like, no, there's no way you're gonna pay for these. He didn't.
I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll take care of it. And even though he lives in Amsterdam, he's lived there for the last 2 years.
Right.
He spent most of his life in New York. He's a very famous artist, had a studio there with his team in New York. But he says, he had a personal connection. He lived in Austin as an artist. His wife has family here in Texas, so he was like, I have people in Texas that can help get you these portraits.
Help get them, yeah.
I know some of the victims actually had these portraits at their funerals as well.
Wow.
I'm not surprised at all. So there's definitely some connective tissue there, plus that urgent need for folks just about everywhere that want to do something, and this was his way.
His way of reaching out.
All right, Sarah Costa, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Well, speaking of Uvalde, the need for answers regarding what happened the day of the mass shooting still intensifying. There's still lots of questions about what happened inside Robb Elementary, and now there could be more obstacles in the way.
State Senator Roland Gutierrez continues to share what he says he's been told. Monday night, he said DPS Director Stephen McCraw told him 2 to 13 troopers were inside the building during the shooting. And yesterday, DPS wanted to explain those troopers went in and out of the school to help evacuate other classrooms. Now, Gutierrez joined Steve Spriester and Myra Arthur on our KSAT Q&A yesterday. That was in the afternoon to double down on his comments and the need for answers.
About 3 children probably bled out and might have been saved. And so those families deserve to know what occurred.
Gutierrez also questioned Uvalde County District Attorney Christina Mitchell Busby and the delay in answers. He said Busby told the Uvalde Leader News that her office's investigation will take at least 6 months.
And there are also concerns that a loophole in Texas law could prevent information on the Uvalde shooting from being released.
Our Lee Waldman sat down with the state rep who's been fighting for years to get the law changed.
Government information is open to the public, right? It belongs to us. That's the default setting. Then we have certain exceptions to that rule.
State Representative Joe Moody says one of the exceptions is a 1997 amendment under the Texas Public Records Act. It's now commonly referred to as the dead suspect loophole. As UTSA political science professor John Taylor explains, the loophole was created to protect people who were unlawfully or wrongly accused.
What's happened is that police responses to shootings or to activities, they can actually use the law to shield themselves from basically releasing information.
In the Uvalde case, it's speculated this could come into play, especially with the ever-changing storyline presented by law enforcement agencies.
When the governor is saying he's been what he felt was lied to, that tells you there is a crying need for eliminating this loophole within Texas law.
The fight to close that loophole has been a 5-year battle for Moody, but he says no measures have gone far enough.
That's an important public policy that we need to change. Right? It's being abused. It's not the spirit of the law is not being complied with.
Not everyone feels the same. Combined Law Enforcement Association of Texas, or CLEAT, said their organization, quote, will always be opposed to closing the loophole, according to an Associated Press article. They offered no further comment when we asked today. In 2019, Governor Greg Abbott refused to sign the Texas Information Act without the loophole included. Moody says he knows the lingering pain that can come from unanswered questions. His community, El Paso, felt the wrath of its own shooting August 3rd, 2019, when 22 people were killed inside of a Walmart.
But being able to understand what happened is helpful. It gives you some sense of closure.
Lee Waldman,
KSAT 12 News.
All right, so Texas House Speaker Dave Phelan tweeted June 1st he supports closing the loophole and wants legislation passed next year, with Governor Abbott now saying he feels lied to by law enforcement in the immediate aftermath of the Uvalde shooting. It will be something to watch going into that next legislative session.
And meanwhile, Uvalde's mayor says the Uvalde County District Attorney told him not to release any records regarding the shooting, at least for now. We usually get information by submitting an open records request, but in a letter from Mayor Don McLaughlin, that request was denied.
McLaughlin said in part, quote, "The district attorney told us the material is still being reviewed and her investigation is ongoing. When all investigations and reviews are complete, the city will evaluate release of city records," end quote. We tried calling and emailing the Uvalde DA's office to get information, but we have not heard back.
And after the Uvalde shooting, and like many after other mass shootings, mental health becomes a topic of discussion. But that discussion can be very vague, so we went to the experts.
Courtney Friedman asked them about the correlation between mental health and mass shootings and what help their field actually needs.
Two different psychiatrists from two different health systems focusing on two different patient groups.
I'm a child and adolescent psychiatrist by training.
I'm a psychiatric consultant to the emergency department.
Yet they have the same stance.
Do you think that mental health care, increased care and funding could stop mass shootings in the future?
Well, I really want to get away from linking mental health and mental health care to tragedies like we've had recently.
I think that they're two separate conversations. I think that there's much good that can be done, but the vast majority of school shooters do not have a diagnosable mental illness. People who have a mental illness are more likely to be victims rather than the perpetrators of violence.
Dr. Jessica Sandoval with UT Health San Antonio says regardless, she's grateful a much needed light is being cast on mental health care.
Regardless of violent tendencies or not, what we need is greater funding to be able to have mental health parity so that we have more doctors who are able to afford taking insurance, and that would help, reduce some of the wait times.
They can wait 3 to 6 months to get an appointment. The level of services and staffing are based on some of the funding issues.
Dr. Christopher L. Wallace with University Health says that's only for people who have actually been brave enough to seek help.
The bottom line, there is help out there. If you have a primary care physician, start there. If you have insurance, a lot of times they have employee assistance programs. And if not, there are free programs out there through places like NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
And taking a look outside with live cam, liking that cloud cover because it's going to keep temperatures a little bit, not as hot, I guess.
Keeps it down just a little bit. And we've had more and more clouds, I feel like, each and every day this week. But today, it's pretty thick out there, and we've had a couple sprinkles on top of that. So I do think temperatures stay below that 100-degree mark today. We've had some beautiful sunsets and sunrises. This is just one example. This sent in this morning from Sisterdale. That is a beautiful shot. And with some of that Saharan dust in the atmosphere, you're going to see more of those colorful sunrises and sunsets in the coming days. There's a look at the satellite picture, and yes, the cloud cover is fairly extensive, and we continue to see that stream in, along with a few very light returns. Now, this has not amounted to much at all and won't amount to much at all today. Again, just a few sprinkles here and there, but with that system just off to our west, it's pumping in some deeper moisture, and that's allowing that cloud cover to be in place. 82 degrees at the airport, 83 Stinson, or 83 Pleasanton. It is actually 83 at Stinson as well. 80 hello to 77 Bernie Stage. And here's how our 12-hour forecast plays out. 10% chance of rain at 11 o'clock, mostly cloudy, 88. We should break out into partly cloudy skies this afternoon, but the cloud cover will keep those temperatures in the upper 90s. I know that's still hot, but it is better than what we've been dealing with. Also, gusty winds out of the south, 10 to 20 miles per hour. We look ahead to the weekend. There is some more heat headed our way. We'll talk about that and that, again, another look at the Saharan dust here in just a few minutes, guys.
Thank you, Justin. Well, this is the first year Juneteenth will be celebrated as a federal holiday.
It's a day to commemorate the emancipation of enslaved African Americans.
San Antonio will celebrate with the usual events like the Juneteenth parade, along with the Texas Freedom Day celebration at Comanche Lookout Park. There'll also be a block party, exhibition at IKEA, and an opportunity for families to share their history with the local African American community archive and museum.
When I just close my eyes and imagine what it must have been like for families to now not have no fear of being separated because of slavery and those kinds of things. So think about how important family is and what we can do.
All the events start on Friday. And Juneteenth, San Antonio is putting on a 4-day celebration. So it'll be at Comanche Park, number 2 on Rigsby Avenue from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. This is Friday through Sunday. And on Monday, there will be a golf tournament at the club at Sonterra.
Time checks, 9:42, 82 degrees.
You're watching GMSA at 9, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back. Exactly 9:46.
Yeah, thanks for joining us today. We are a little bit excited on this Wednesday because we had a little bit of sprinkles here and there already to talk about, Justin.
Did we scare it away, though?
Pretty much.
We did. We talked about it so much this morning.
We did. There was a couple light returns on the radar. And look, we knew it wouldn't amount to much, but it's just nice to see a little something on the radar and see the cloud cover. That's really going to be the main takeaway today, is that should help to keep temperatures in check a little bit. I also want to talk about daylight. We're getting to that point. We're almost to the summer solstice. How long of a day are we going to see, and how does it all work out math-wise? So December 21st was our shortest day back in, obviously, last year, 10 hours, 15 minutes. June 21st, the summer solstice, 14 hours and 2 minutes of daylight. Today, we're at 14 hours and 1 minute, so we're just about a minute away. So we're getting to the longest day of the year. We're almost there, but it feels like it's been summer for, what, 2 months now? Pretty much. We go outside for you, a lot of cloud cover. 82 degrees at the airport right now, mostly cloudy. Dew point is at 72. Very thick humidity with southerly winds at 15. 79 Rock Springs, 82 in Del Rio, 82 Uvalde, 83 in New Braunfels, 84 right now in Gonzales, and a lot of 80s on the map at this hour. The exception being Bernie Stage, which is still sitting at 77, and Bandera sitting at 79. We do want to look at the wind gusts. Winds are going to be breezy again today. We'll see some gusts up there around 20, 25 in some spots. Already seeing that around New Braunfels. The last several days have been pretty windy. Winds do subside some as we get into tomorrow and Friday. Satellite picture. There's all that cloud cover, and you see some of those light returns still there. And I still think we could see a sprinkle or two this afternoon. Again, it's just not going to really add up to anything measurable. You see the water vapor. There's that spin we were talking about yesterday. It has moved north into Texas. And with that, we're going to keep a 10% chance of rain in the forecast. This model shows a little bit of something even into the afternoon coming through. And then the cloud cover also sticks with us. We'll see less in the way of clouds tomorrow. Here's your KSAT 12-hour forecast. 90 at noontime, 10% chance of rain, partly cloudy into the afternoon. 98 is the high temperature we'll go with. Yes, it is below 100. There's enough humidity, though, today where it's going to feel around 100, 101 with the heat index. So keep that in mind. Even this evening, still pretty warm with temperatures in the 90s, eventually falling into the 80s overnight. High pressure is really bringing us some hot temperatures to parts of the country. The cool stuff's still up across the Pacific Northwest, but places like Cleveland, they'll be up around 93 degrees today. St. Louis, 98. So it's not just us that is really feeling the heat. This high pressure has had a big influence on the weather on the eastern half of the country, at least. And heat indices will be up above 100 in several of these spots. These are some of the warmest temperatures those areas have seen, at least for early June, in many, many years. And that's because of that ridge of high pressure, which right now is off to our east. Now, it does shift back towards the middle part of the country by Thursday and Friday, ups our temperatures a little bit. And over the weekend, it still has its influence over us, just doesn't move enough. We really, at some point, have got to get this thing out of the way. And there's no indication that that's going to happen. But, you know, hopefully somewhere down the line that does happen and we get some cooler temperatures and hopefully some rain chances back in the forecast, but not there for now. 98 degrees today, 101 tomorrow, 100 Friday. We do need to mention the Saharan dust too. There's some around today, but it thickens up more tomorrow. And we'll see that through Friday before it dissipates over the weekend. 100 Saturday, 100 Sunday for Father's Day, Juneteenth, and then we've got a lot of celebrations, perhaps some outdoors. Be careful. It is still going to be hot and somewhat humid. And the heat continues right on into next week. Maybe a bit more cloud cover on Tuesday, which will once again bring temperatures down just a hair, guys.
We'll take it at this point.
Yep.
Thank you, Justin.
And with that forecast, we think this message is on point. Summertime means more fun in the sun, but it's also important to keep our kids hydrated if they're going outdoors, especially in this record-breaking heat we've had lately.
Local health officials say parents shouldn't wait until a child is thirsty to give them something to drink. They should be drinking water throughout the day. And if you have a child that isn't a fan of water, you can mix a little bit of juice with the water, but make sure it's mostly water and make sure to avoid sugary drinks, more caffeine.
So for little ones, babies 6 months and under, they're going to be mostly on breast milk or formula, but you can introduce some water, about 4 to 8 ounces with them. 1 to 3 year olds, we're looking for about 4 cups of water a day. 4 to 8 is about 5 cups. And then 7, 8 and older, we're going to be doing 7 to 8 cups.
When it comes to safety tips, parents should know there are 4 big things to keep in mind: time, exposure, sunscreen, and hydration. Health officials say the best time to have the kids outside first thing in the morning and again in the evening. Try to avoid those prime heating afternoon hours.
And it's hard because they want to play.
I know.
We have to just keep them protected.
Round them up and take them in, at least for a while. 9:51, 83 degrees.
We'll be right back.
Are you ready for football season to return? You can now buy tickets for the inaugural KSAT Pigskin Classic happening August 27th. Tickets on sale now at all San Antonio area Las Palapas locations.
The Pigskin Classic will be a full day of high school football action at the Alamo Dome. We will showcase 6 local high school football teams over 3 games. And you can find more information and a map of Las Palapas locations where you can buy these tickets right now on our website at ksat.com.
And it has been a busy morning on the roadways. We're still looking at 35. Actually, great news. Looks like that crash that was reported earlier has cleared out. We had a pretty big slowdown there throughout the 9, and we also had some other issues on the roadways. But right now, looks like a perfect time to leave the station and actually get on the road without any trouble. But just remember to buckle up, drive safe, both hands on the wheel, both eyes on the road. That crash led to some big delays in the northbound lanes of 35 near 37. But thankfully, looks like that's cleared out, and a lot of these drivers can probably breathe a sigh of relief.
You can
like
tell
me.
which of us are about to go home for the day.
Well, I was just saying. Maybe you
no,
guys.
I know.
I'll stick around.
I'll be here for a while, but that's okay. 98 degrees today. We'll see quite a bit of cloud cover. In fact, we're seeing that right now. That's going to help with temperatures, but the heat is back. So is the dust next couple of days. So we're going to enjoy this, quote unquote, cooler weather for now because we've earned it.
Any tropical activity to keep an eye on at this moment?
We do have a system trying to develop in the Caribbean, but it will not have an effect on us. At least it does not look that way. Then out in the Pacific, we have Tropical Storm Blas.
Interesting.
Blas, yeah, interesting name. We're on the B name there, there in the Pacific. So it's heading out to the open ocean, so we don't have to worry about that.
So if people are going to maybe Yucatan, Cozumel, Cancun, check ahead.
Keep an eye out, yeah.
Yes, sir. Okay, we can do that. Stephen, thank you for sticking around.
Yes, for now. You guys have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.
3 of the 4 of us are going home. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.
Sorry, Justin. Love you, pal.